I know that you are focusing or advising of startups and supporting. What are the three main advice for the startups for today?
Yeah, so the three sort of common areas. Make sure you're solving a real problem. I see a lot of startups going after things which are either, duplicates of fairly mainstream products that are out there, or they're just not solving something that an early adopter market feels is specifically additive and as a solution to their everyday life. So make sure it's solving a real problem. The second one is know how to fail quickly. Certainly, that's a practice that is not adopted widely in startup culture because they're under a lot of pressure from investors to not fail. But in fact, for the investors and the company's standpoint, sometimes it's best to fail quickly, move on, take whatever cash you have. There's two sides to that. I think the third one is, be extremely disciplined with your roadmap. I see most companies present me with what they think is a roadmap, and what I tend to get is a build map, which is just a Gantt chart with various sprints laid out over a timeline. But there's a roadmap discipline which involves tying in your front end, your back end, your marketing team, your investor schedule into a beautifully choreographed timeline that is kept stable. And I think that would be the third recommendation that I don't see enough of in startups, and they should do more of that, and they would be more successful if they did.
Yeah, I agree with all those. I have two slightly different ones, absolutely aligned on roadmap. That's fundamental. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. And it's about where you're going as a business, not what tech you're building. I would add a couple more that are relevant, and perhaps there's 5 overall. Eyes wide open decision making. If you're a founder, you need to understand the trade-offs that you're making at each step and really understand them. So when your developer says, oh yeah, I can do that, okay, what are you sacrificing? If you're hard coding rules instead of building a rules engine, you need to understand that in 6 months' time, you won't be able to change as quickly. Now, it might be a good decision. It might be what gets you the initial sale. You need to understand the consequences. So eyes wide open decision making and really getting those discussions with your developers so you know. And then the final one is network. You need a network. The network that you build up is incredibly powerful to anyone in business, but particularly I think in the startup world, you can learn so much from so many different sources, and networking is something that you can practice, you can teach yourself to become better at it, and once you can tap into a network of advisors and of people that you know and people that you've helped, this is a big part of it, being good at networking is paying it forward as well. That becomes a real superpower that can help you kick on.